Hey beautiful souls, Hannah here, Life Purpose Queen from Reality Awareness. If this is your first time to my live stream, please let me know in the comments below. I feel like I haven't been live publicly for like ages. I've been busy behind the scenes, but I've also been in my private groups, and we just did week 3 support call for reconfiguring energetic codes, which this is taking it up a notch to the next level, right? And Life Purpose Accelerator is open. This is the inner circle as well. I will drop the link in the comments too, so make sure you check that out because this is open now for applications. And I'm like stumbling for my words. I've done a reconfiguring energetic codes support call and a trust in intuition support call. So if I'm stumbling on my words, that would be why. I've been talking on live stream for about 4 hours already. Well, maybe not 4, maybe it's 2 and a bit. So say hi when you join live, guys. I just haven't been live for so long, and I really want to talk about this healing masculine wounding because it's been coming up really strongly. And it was so interesting. The other day I was like sitting there doing my journaling stuff. Let me just share this and I will be present with you. Wait on a second, because I've got a lot to say about this healing masculine wounding and letting in the light and how that relates to what is going on in our world with the whole like patriarchal system really collapsing and crumbling right now, right? So let me just share this live stream as always with presence, so then I can be totally present with you guys here, yeah? All right, so I just pinned that comment to the live stream as well. Hey Joy, lovely to have you here. I just feel like I haven't been live stream, like I haven't been public for ages, and I've been like quiet, and I'm pretty sure I've been getting messages and people are like, where's Hannah? I'm still here. But I've been busy in my private groups, and I've been busy with Lucas as well. All right, so presently sharing this live stream. So I'm curious how you guys are feeling. Apparently, there's people have been feeling like, they're like, is Mercury retrograde? And then like someone had shared in my private group that Pluto has just moved into something and will be there until October. I'm no astrologer. So, but there's been something shifting and going on, right? And it's so interesting when I Googled what Pluto is. Pluto is like the death rebirth cycle, which kind of makes sense, and it's all about power struggles and power and control. And this is so interesting, talking about healing masculine wounding and what's been coming up, right? So I'm almost finished sharing this, and then I will be super present with you guys. Yes, and this healing from the witch hunts, right? And it's Beltane, which is the ancient like bringing in the masculine and feminine energies and merging the inner masculine and inner feminine within ourselves. Now, when we do this, what do we have? Complete balance, right? And an internal game. Yeah. So big piece of like the healing, you know, masculine wounding is really coming into like, yes, it can be on external, right? But when we look at healing masculine wounding, it's healing the inner self from all the hurts and pains of how we've been hurt. Now you could flip this and it's like healing feminine wounding. Now we'll just come out of the private group, as I said, and the other piece that was coming up in there was about the sisterhood wounding. Now when we really look at the energies of healing from the witch hunts and like what's going on planetary wise as well, like it's been really it's really big, yeah? So hey Pauline, yes, haven't seen me. I know it's been ages. It's been ages, especially on public live stream. Been live streaming heaps, but not publicly. Been in all my private groups. All right. So this whole thing around, so healing from the witch hunts. Let me start by sharing what triggered this live stream in the first place, right? So this book, hang on, let me just put this back in here. So when I teach like my meditations and like my process work and in all my courses, and if you've got my free meditation pack, if you don't have my free meditation pack, there's 6 free meditations in there. There's full training videos in there that I highly recommend watching. If you don't have that, please send me a message or comment below and I'll send you the link and you can download that. It's all free. So in all my meditations, I always say, you know, do the meditations consciously once, sitting down, being present with it, so that you consciously understand what it is, how to work it and everything like that. Especially with the internal compass chakra clearing meditation, once you've, you know, sort of understand what's going on, you can listen to that internal compass chakra clearing meditation on repeat while you're doing the dishes or anything like that, especially if you're feeling off or depressed or anxiety or anything like that. Send me, please. Okay, let me put the link in the comments for that now, right? So there's 6 free meditations in there. And like I said, you know, like the first time you listen to it, sit down, consciously listen to it, just so you understand it. When you actually like download the meditation pack, or you just sign up for it and then you can log in on my website in the members section. Like I said, if you log in there, there's like training videos, like there's some that are quite long. Even one of the meditations is like 50 minutes long. Like when you actually watch those training videos, like I go in and I have purposely done it so that you can get the most out of it, right? So if you take time to eventually watch those training videos in there, I explain, you know, like why I say this, why we do this in the meditation, why this happens, what you might feel if this happens, do this. Like it's like full training in there, and it's all free. So if you really want to start shifting your life, or you really want to feel better, please take the time to go through them, right? Because then once you understand, when you've watched a training video, when you've listened to it consciously, like I said, when you're doing the dishes or when you walk out of a shopping center and you feel like, you can instantly clear your energy. You don't have to like feel all crap and stuff and then go to the doctor and they put you on antidepressants and stuff, like, because you just need to clear your freaking energy, right? Like I'm really big on this stuff, and I'll probably get in trouble for saying that stuff. But anyway, so I just put the link in the comments there. It's the Essentials Free Meditation Pack. If you don't have it, please send me a message and I can give it to you in a private message or whatever. It's all good, just as long as you get it, okay? Now, the purpose of me sharing that was the fact that, how did I get onto that? I don't even remember how I got onto that. But it's like, seriously, if you guys have already got that and you haven't gone in and watched those training videos, please do it. I was sharing something about it and then I got sidetracked talking about the meditation pack. So I'm just bringing up the comments here. All right, I don't know why I started talking about that. Obviously, people need that meditation pack. All right, let me talk about where I was going with the masculine wounding, and maybe it'll come back to me for sure, of course. All right, so the healing masculine wounding. Okay, so at the moment, right, you're so welcome, Joy. At the moment, there is, lost track of what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm usually pretty good with that, but I just lost it, Jade. All right, so the healing masculine wounding. So let me just remind us, right, remind everybody that in 2020, there is an astrological, I've been talking on live stream for 2 hours already, in my private groups, so please mind my words. There is an astrological lineup happening right now. Well, in 2020, I don't know exactly when, right? I'm sure it's at some point. And that astrological lineup, and I know I say this all the time, hasn't happened since the mid-1600s. Now, what's really interesting is that I might be quiet on public live stream and I'm still posting here and there, but I know I've been a little bit quiet, but I've started to land and started to really understand what I'm doing here and all this sort of stuff, right? There's shifting going on. Oh yeah, there's shifting going on. Oh yeah, so the meditation and that internal compass chakra clearing can help us stay centered and grounded and know what's our energy and somebody else's energy, and are we being influenced or is it somebody else? Like, please, please, please watch those meditations, right? And have them, and you can have them on repeat, and you can do them while you're doing the dishes. Like, that's your medicine. There's a reason why medication and meditation are so intimately, like, they're so connected in words, right? So being out here with Lucas, with everything that's going on, with what we're shifting through personally, globally, like with things that are being shown, like intuitively, like my visions have gone to next level, being out here in the bush and the connection with the trees and the root systems and the stars, like next level stuff, right? And you're so out of whack. Yeah, so be looking at self-care, be looking at meditation processes, be looking at everything going on, right? Making sure you're clearing your energy and staying grounding and all of that, staying grounded. Exercise, yoga, blah, blah, blah. Lots of water, make sure you're drinking lots of spring water. So the astrological lineup hasn't been seen since the mid-1600s. Now, in the mid-1600s, what was going on was the witch hunts. Now that same astrological lineup hasn't occurred since then. And we've looked at what's going on in 2020. It's like, well, this is interesting, right? Now, it's what is also interesting is that, like I said, I was sitting down, like, was it last night or the night before? It was 2 nights ago. Yeah, it was 2 nights ago. Excuse me, my nose is running and dripping. No, I'm not sick. The cold down here. And someone just said it was supposed to be 8 degrees on the Sunshine Coast tonight or something. I'm like, wow. There's been a cold sweep coming over. Did you guys see that? Like the full weather patterns and the dust storm and stuff. Anyway, so I was sitting down doing one of Regan's trainings the other night, and this book I have as a process book. Oh, maybe that's why I started talking about meditations, because I did too. So in my meditations, in all my trainings, I always say to do the meditation and take time afterwards to write down any messages that you receive during your meditation. So whether you get messages, I didn't really have pens with me, but I draw things, any symbols, you know, colors and pens and everything are really, really important. Like, well, people don't like using them and they think they have to draw this amazing piece of artwork, and I'm like, no, you don't have to. But what you do need to do is remember that every time you pick up pen and paper, you're taking the messages that you received intuitively and you're making it reality. This alchemy, yeah. The other piece about that is that when you use color, I'm trying to find color, so I always like to write in color. This is not my best journal book, but anyway, the point of using color is that it enhances, it strengthens your clairvoyance, being able to see images, being able to see colors. Your intuition becomes stronger. Hey Tammy, I haven't seen you guys for ages. Okay, so the reason that I started sharing about meditations is because that's what I teach, yeah? Now, as I said, I was sitting down the other night and writing down my notes from the training, from Regan's training that I'm in at the moment. And I discovered and come across, so I've got all my training notes, but then I discovered I had this in here. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I've obviously just put this in from a process that I did. And so I'm sitting there the other night and Lucas was doing whatever and I'm doing my thing, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. This is like one of my downloads, right? And I did this one on the 15th of July. I know it's back to front for you guys, but the 15th of July, 2019. And this is from my Healing the Witch Hunts meditation. So yes, I do my own meditations because they work. So I do my own processes. I teach what I preach. So what was that word? I preach what I teach. Whatever, right? I live what I teach, I should say. Whatever the words are. So healing from the witch hunts. And this is like, I'm nervous to share this, right? But I read this the other day and I'm like, got the message, I need to share this on public live stream. So here I am sharing it on public live stream. Okay. My process, my messages that came through, and on the 15th of July, 2019, when I did my healing from the witch hunts meditation. So whatever came up in the meditation, the message that came through for me, the healing, was, it is safe for me to be and feel safe with the masculine. To be open and vulnerable with the masculine. It is safe for me to be all of me with the masculine. And so in the meditation, it kind of like fast forwards to, you know, like, what does it feel like now? And now you're living it and blah, blah, blah. And I've written here, so much more relaxed. I don't have to be on guard. Just a total different reality and energy. Completely safe, secure, peaceful, and there aren't words that describe it. My dream life totally opens with this feeling, letting in the masculine. And then in the meditation, it also fast forwards to 10 years to what it would be like. And it says, so much joy after 10 years of it running in my body. Now, the reason that I'm sharing this, is because, you know how I always talk about there's a 9-month healing cycle, there's an 18-month healing cycle, and then it hits 3 years. Now, this is the 15th of July, and we're July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. We're in April now. That's 9 months. 9 months. And look at where I am with Lucas. Now, if you're in my private groups, you'll know the depth of what I've been shifting through in me feeling safe with the masculine. Now, this conscious man has turned up in my life out of the blue, unexpected, and no, I wasn't calling in a relationship. However, that's what the universe thought that I needed, right? Take me to my next level. What I was working on manifesting was a new house. And from like mid-December last year, I literally, like if you're in my private groups, you know this, and I can't believe I'm even sharing this publicly, but for whatever reason, I obviously need to share it. So I'm trusting. And please comment below and let me know if any of this is ringing bells for you, or if you even feel safe with the masculine, right? You might even be in a relationship and you don't feel safe to open, right? And the piece that I want to speak about, and I'll share more about the manifesting piece in a minute, but the piece I really want to share about this healing masculine wounding and what it's done to change my life is that, and even like in this process of, you know, being here for the past few weeks down in Victoria, I've had to like learn to navigate this all over again, in a sense that, you know, this whole feeling safe to be, what did I say? It's safe for me to be and feel safe with the masculine, to be open and vulnerable, right? And there's something, so much more relaxed. I don't have to be on guard. Yeah, I don't have to be on guard. And this is interesting, right? So if you experience like, when you say frozen, do you mean your energy's frozen or the live stream's frozen? Because it's all good on my end. So because this whole being on guard, right? We can be in a relationship and we can have walls up. We can be in a relationship and we can have guards up and we don't let anybody in. You know, we might be still like physically like, what's the word? Intimate, like physically intimate with somebody. But, you know, like we're still on guard, you know, and when we talk about this, like letting in the masculine, right? And I did a live stream on this not long ago, actually, funnily enough, on the masculine, like healing the masculine wounding, when we're letting in a masculine, like letting in masculine. So if we're having trouble manifesting what we want in our life, right? Whether it be money, love, career, relationship, whatever it is you're trying to manifest, everyone's like, yes, receiving issues, I'm not receiving, but it's also about feeling safe to let in the masculine, right? Because when we really look at like a penis going in the vagina, it's a penetration, right? The masculine energy comes in. Now, when we look at receiving, we have to let it in. Do we actually let it in? We might let it in, but do we feel safe to really, are we energetically letting it in? That's the big piece there, right? And so when we look at this, like being on guard all the time, like when we're on guard or we've got frozen feelings, right? And it's like these walls up, like you guys know, like, are you being your full authentic self, or do you feel a little bit like guarded, like, oh, we better not let them in, right? And this whole thing here, like healing from the witch hunts, it stemmed from that. But I know that there's been so much of me where I've had to be on guard, where I've had to, you know, have walls up, where I've had to like hold that energy, because I didn't feel safe letting anybody in, let alone the masculine, right? And when I've had these walls up energetically, it's also like blocked everything else out. It's like when people say, oh, we put protection up, and it's like, well, you put protection up, but there's like these energetic walls and nothing can come in. Not love, not abundance, not energy, not anything. And it's just very isolating, and we get very depressed and dark and empty, and, you know, because we've put all these own walls up ourselves. Nobody's done that to us but us. People might have hurt us in the past, but what we've done is we've put a wall up instead of actually dealing and facing the pain of it. So we put these walls up and it becomes very, very isolating, right? So, hey, Lexina. So when we look at this, right, about, you know, like healing masculine wounding and actually letting it in, it was so interesting, right? How do I take down the walls? Awesome question. Okay. And it's interesting because I've been speaking to a client about this. And then when I was like getting this, when I found this the other day, I'm like, right, I need to share this on live stream. And that's what came through. And I'm like, I have to share this on live stream. I'm like, okay. So how do I take down the walls? Now, this is so interesting. Okay. Because when we look at actually receiving energy, receiving light, receiving money, receiving love, receiving friggin' anything, because it's a penetration, it has to come in, okay? And we've got a wall up, it stops it coming in before it can even get over here. If we look at fertility issues, it's the same thing. Where is the energetic wall? How can we bring down those barriers, right? All energetics. When you say, how do I take down the walls? your answer is safety. Feeling safe. If there's one word, it's safety. If we don't feel safe, we're not going to bring down those walls. How do we do that? Usually it's a pile of inner child work. Yes, I'm sure there's a zillion other techniques out there, 100%. There's so many things, and it wouldn't just be one thing, it'd be a pile of things, and we do it all conjoined and everything shifts. But the key is what makes you feel safe. Do you feel safe around people? Do you feel safe around, like anybody? Do you feel safe around the ones closest to you? Probably not, because they're the ones that have usually abused you. So then when we are with somebody who makes us feel safe, we're like still on guard. We're like, ooh, waiting for it. And it's breaking patterns about feeling that unsafety, like feeling in danger for our whole life. Now, when you stem back into childhood stuff, right? And this is why inner child healing and chunks of it, not just once, you just do one meditation, like, nah. That's like having a glass of water and expecting it to sustain you for your lifetime. Like, it just doesn't work, right? So when we work with inner child, it's like looking back, like your main caregivers, right? Now, I'm going to give the feminine, masculine, like, example here, but you can flip it around, right? So when you're a child, did your father or mother make you feel safe? Did you get abused by your father and mother or other caregiver, male or female, right? Did you feel safe growing up? Yeah. Did you? Maybe that was normal for you, by the way. Maybe unsafe was normal. Maybe abuse was normal. And so when we grow up, it's like abuse is normal. Yelling and screaming is normal. That's how it was for me, right? It was normal reality. So then when we flick into trying to create a healthy relationship or removing ourselves from a toxic relationship and then moving into healthy relationships, there's a unwinding, rewiring, patterning going on that we have to be consciously working on to be able to fully receive the healthy masculine and or feminine relationship, right? There's definitely an unpatterning, rewiring process that goes on. Yeah, the yelling was normal, right? Does yelling and screaming and abuse create safety? Well, no, it doesn't, ultimately. But when we've grown up and it's normal, that becomes safe. And so when we want a relationship that's not toxic and abusive and that sort of thing, there's a whole like, well, what the fuck is a healthy relationship even? Because I don't even have role models of a healthy relationship, let alone what that feels like, right? And that's why being around mentors and having people around you that have done this work, that know how to help you through this work, to then repattern to create, attract, and actually be in a healthy relationship, that takes time. And then when you create more safety and you're in a healthy relationship, then all the other deeper woundings still surface because you feel safe. And when we feel safe, then more healing comes up. Right? But when we feel safe in a container, that's when the healing comes, and that's when we can work through it. And we know, right? We know it's from our past and we don't project it into our now, right? And that's so key, right? But it's definitely changing, right? Now, another piece to that, right? So it's kind of like the healing aspect of it. I'm just going to put that over there for now. When you ask me, how do I take down the walls, right? So Joy says, so crazy. I just told my therapist I'm ready to dig into my childhood to see what happens. Exactly right. This is what I work with my clients on, right? Which the Life Purpose Accelerator is open as my inner circle. You get 12 months access to me personally, 24/7 on WhatsApp. We get 30-minute like clarity phone calls as well to help accelerate your life purpose. But of course, as an intuitive healer and life purpose activator, this is what we deal with in clearing out these wounds, because when we're carrying all this trauma, we don't know what our life purpose is. We're still in all this entanglement of shit, right? And so we clear this out, then our life purpose becomes clear naturally, yeah? So send me a message if you want details about the Life Purpose Accelerator. So when you ask me, how do I take down the walls, right? How do I take down the walls? The other piece to that, yeah? So there's that whole rewiring, patterning, and process and all of that, right? When you ask, how do I take down the walls? The other piece about this, right? Because it's it's not just doing the healing work and it's done. It's also mindset. It's also a conscious choice. It's also a conscious awareness of your energy. And this is why, like, that free meditation pack that I put in there, right, is, like an awesome place to start, especially, as I said, like, watch those training videos, learn how to use the meditations, because when you really learn how to use the meditations and how I teach them in that thing, like, please, it's all free. Like, just go and do it. It's just such a gift for you, right? That it not only strengthens, like, and clears your energy, right? It strengthens your intuition and the piece about being able to be like a person who is a highly sensitive empath who feels all the energies of all the universe, of all the crap, and we're like, we go crazy. It's like, no. Or people feel like they're attacking or whatever. It's no. It's just understanding and being conscious of the energy you're feeling, how to travel it, how to clear it, what's what, and what to do with it. Like, that's all it is. It's a skill, and we learn that, okay, with practice. Now, as I said, when you say, like, how do I take down those walls? How do I release that armor? So, like I said, all of that healing stuff, yes. Okay, the other really important piece that I feel really called to share with you right now, right, is a conscious choice. Now, people are like, I don't have a choice. Like, I just had a big reaction as my feelings. Like, I don't have a choice in how I feel. Now, I used to say that all the time. I'm like, you have no idea. Like, like, how can I choose this? Or how can I choose a different emotion? Like, again, it's a skill. It takes practice, right? And this is where we become the masters of our own energy, of our own reality, and become super conscious. So instead of reacting to life and getting thrown around and feeling all this energy, and we're like, what's going on? We become masters of our reality. We become super highly intuitively clear because you're already super intuitive, right? But you're just entangled and messed up and feel everyone else's energy and all this sort of jazz, right? When you become a master of your reality, of your energy reality, right? And that comes, you start at my free meditation pack, right? Send me a message if you need that link. You start there as a first starter. There's many things you can do to start, right? But that's number one. And when you can really consciously understand all these bits and pieces of energy, you start responding to life instead of reacting, right? Because what's happening when you're reacting is you just feel somebody's energy. You're like, what's that? And you're like, go into this crazy mode, right? But all that's happened is somebody's energies come in. Now, if you're a master of your conscious reality of feeling the energy, you become conscious, that's somebody else's energy. Now, it might trigger a wound in your own self, and that's when you start going crazy, right? But if you catch that, even, you can catch that other person's energy, you can shift that out the way, you can heal your own wounds, and you become more lighter and clearer, and fast, rapid change happens, and you keep in your center for longer, right? And then we become masters of our reality that we can do. Now, as I said, it's a conscious choice. Now, what do I mean by that? So what do I mean? As an example, it's like, okay, so, when you say, how do I take down those walls? So it's a conscious choice. So you're conscious that you're on guard. You're conscious that you've been hurt in the past, and that might stem back to past life, which is what the healing from the witch hunts meditation is like healing those pieces where they're still stored in our energy field, by the way, right? Those timelines still exist unless we've cleared them out, and those traumas sit there. So when somebody else's energy hits in, it triggers that, and then you're still playing out that, right? So there's so many layers to this. But when you can consciously be aware that, yes, I do have a strong energy. Yes, I do, consciously have walls up because I've been hurt, and I don't want to get hurt again, or I'm going to keep that up, thank you very much, but no, right? But when you do start working on your life and you start to create a space, an environment with people, places, and things around you where you are working towards moving out of abuse and your whole childhood patterning and stepping into creating a reality that is what you want rather than what you don't want, and all the repeating patterns of your past and generations gone by. When you actually step into creating that, then you have an opportunity to create safety with somebody, right? Or people, or an environment, or anything, right? Now, when you've still got these walls up and you're in this space, it's a conscious choosing. So whether you've been in a relationship for 20 years or 5 months or whatever it is, right, you will notice if you have these walls up. Now, I'm getting to the point. You can consciously choose, like, you'll notice it too. You'll be like, you'll feel the energy. Like, is it flowing between you and the person, or does it feel a bit blocked off? You can feel that. You're highly insensitive, intuitive empath. Now you might be like, they're not open to me. They're blocked. They're on their phone. They're ignoring me. Look at this, right? They are responding to your wall. Bring down the wall. How do I do that? I consciously can feel this energy, okay? And again, this is a skill and it's mastered and it's practiced through meditation and everything I've been sharing. I can feel that, okay, all right, they're kind of ignoring me or something's going on here, okay, all right. How is this reflected to me, okay? What do I need to do in my energy to change my environment? Because it always begins with you, okay? 3 fingers pointing back at you. Point a finger at somebody, you've got 3 fingers pointing back at you. Let's just have a look at you for a second. Okay, yeah, okay, I've had a really busy day, so I'm in go-go mode, okay? Very conscious of that. What's go-go mode? That's masculine energy, yeah? Masculine energy is go, 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 busy, got stuff to do, too busy for you, too busy for me, got too much going on. Those walls up, right? Nobody can freaking come in with that, right? Okay, I'm conscious that I've had a busy day. I'm conscious that I'm still running on adrenaline. I'm conscious that I'm busy, right? They're only reflecting my wall. Okay. I consciously choose to calm down. Number 1, flick off that flight or fight. Maybe it's some deep breathing. Maybe it's a shower. Maybe it's turning off all technology. Maybe it's going and meditating. Maybe it's lighting some candles. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe it's consciously choosing to slow your energy down. Because when we're in go-go masculine mode and we're being busy all day or anything like that, it's a conscious choice to switch off. So people who are not sleeping at night or people who are waking up in the night can't go back to sleep. Like, are you consciously choosing to wind down your energy before bed while you're in sleeper bed? Do you consciously train yourself to do da-da-da-da-da? Like everything a day says to me, I'm like, well, you can train your brain to do that. You can train yourself to wake up before your alarm. You can train yourself to sleep through the night. You can train yourself to do anything. Why? Because you are the one in control of your mind. How do I bring down those walls? I consciously choose to slow down my energy. I consciously choose to awaken and activate my feminine energy within my heart. I consciously choose to allow my heart energy to expand. I consciously choose to bring down these hard walls. I consciously choose to make my energy soft. Now, soft, open, and vulnerable does not mean that we are allowing people to trample over that. No, we can be super fair. We're even more powerful when we have a soft, gentle energy. Why? Because it's full. It is full and powerful. It is expansive. That heart energy is so strong and it fills your entire aura. Now, when we have the masculine walls up and we're busy, go, 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 what did I say earlier on this live stream, right? When we do that, it's very isolating. It becomes empty. It becomes a big hollow of energy because we've got these walls up and nothing can come in. That means no energy can come in either. So when we allow this soft, open heart energy, it's so full and powerful. Nothing can penetrate that except love. And it also softens our energy and allows things to come in. It allows us to receive in rather than it rebounding off the hard wall and nothing coming in. Then we're like goes in spiral more and they're doing this and like. I consciously choose to bring down my walls. I consciously choose to calm my energy down. I consciously choose to ground my energy through my feet down into the earth. I consciously choose to become super present with who I am. Hey, Forrest, thank you. It's cold here. I'm getting used to learning how to have layers and rug up and stuff. It's a process, but I'm learning so much. Right? So when we can consciously choose to soften our energy, now there's so many women out there that like, there's no conscious men around. There's no men that support my energy. It's like, well, what are you reflecting to them? Are you actually letting them in? Are you consciously allowing those walls to come down, especially when you're in a safe environment? right? Go, go, go. Or like consciously softening and slowing down my energy allows you to receive. Yeah? It allows things to come in. You needed to hear this. Yes. Serendipity. Intentions are so powerful. Yes. Yeah. Right? So when I look at what I discovered 2 nights ago, when I was through my journaling and I was like, oh, look at this that I wrote from the 15th of July, from the Healing from the Witch Hunts, declarations, shifted out the wound, and then I declared that it is safe for me to be and feel safe with the masculine, to be open and vulnerable with the masculine. It is safe for me to be with the masculine, all of me, all parts of me. I don't have to be on guard, and it's just a different reality, okay? When we look at what I was sharing before about the abuse and having to be on guard and be on defense, when we're soft and open, and it's a total different energy. It's a total different reality. Doesn't mean that the old woundings don't surface, but when we have that safe space to process them and the conscious reflection, takes it to another level, right? So I'm curious, guys, there's some of you that are like, I needed to hear this, right? So the first thing to do, and I work with this with clients, right? I'm like, tell me about your relationship. What's going on, And like the first thing I'm like, okay, so what about you? What about you and your walls? What about your energy? What about your conscious choosing to soften and let them in? Have you done that? Are you doing that? Can we try that, please? Right? So I'm curious, let me know, like, has this been helpful? Do you walk around with walls up? Do you walk around go, go, go mode? And sometimes that's really, that's a thing with strong, powerful women and even men. Again, you can flick this around, you can flick this around for masculine, feminine, whatever. Are you in go, go, go mode? We can be strong and powerful, but we can be soft and open, and it's so much more powerful. And it brings a different presence to a space. It transforms things. Grounded, strong, powerful. Yeah? We are human beings, not human doings. Yes, Scott. You're right on point. Exactly, right? When we can be present with that energy, we can get so much more done. We're connected to flow. Our intuition is stronger. Our power is stronger. We respond to life rather than react to life, because when we've got these walls up, it's like hitting against. We're like on defense the whole time, right? Whereas when we're feeling and we're present, we know that nothing can hurt us. It just moves through us. And we're like, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting, because we're present, conscious, aware, there with it. That's the transformation. You did, Christina. So Kelly says, opening up and dropping the walls is hard. Recently, I'm softening and dropping them with new relationships, but it makes me feel vulnerable. So get comfortable in the vulnerability. Yeah. So interesting, because the other day I got really triggered. And like in my stuff, and I was like pulling cards, like Lucas was working on the property, and I was like pull cards, and it was like the card that came out of the deck was King, and it said like the King of Water, and like the piece that I read in it was like something like, if you've got someone around you who is like a king to you, like go and let them support you, like go and be vulnerable with them. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, can I put the cards away? And then I went, and like Lucas just held me there, and he was just present and like shifted through it, and like there's so much more to the story, but it's like this like thing, I was like, and even the card just freaking told me to come and speak to you. And like we just shifted it. But for me, that's like super vulnerable. Like, number one, I've never had that. Number two, like for someone to hold that space for me to process like whatever, like that big trigger, like that was whole next level, right? Whole next level. And in that process, and I really want to point this out, Kelly, right? It makes me feel vulnerable. That vulnerability is your power. That vulnerability is the softness. And what I want to say to that is that vulnerability and the softness anchors in and becomes your new normal, rather than the defenses being normal, right? It's a repatterning, right? I'm not sure when you join live, but you might want to watch the start of this live stream, because I went through this bit, so I want to repeat it. But that now becomes your new normal, and that becomes your programming, and that becomes your energy and your beingness, right? And this is where, when I said here, and I'd even written it, you know, like, I don't have to be on guard. It's a total different reality and energy. Yeah, completely safe and secure and peaceful. There aren't words to describe it, right? That's a feeling, okay? And it's a completely different feeling to being on guard and being in the abuse and the trauma and all the shit that we've grown up in or whatever. Like, usually, of course, it goes deeper into past life, but most of us have not had a really supportive, safe expression of self environment growing up, right? We're usually told to stop crying or we'll get a belting or something or whatever. All right, so we learn to shut down our voice, therefore shut down our heart and shut down the rest of our body, so we're living in our head and blah, blah, blah. So we're living here in the walls and protection mechanism rather than the feeling in the heart, which is what is shifting in our reality on a collective consciousness level now, healing from the witch hunts and healing into you know, like this. And by the way, I just want to add this little piece, which is just so significant, you know, like with Lucas and what he's like freaking blowing me away with what he's unraveling and creating and stuff. I'm just like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. So the astrological lineup right now, as I keep saying, from the early mid 1600s is the same astrological lineup now in 2020, and it hasn't been like that since the mid 1600s. Now in the mid 1600s was when all the, like, I don't know the technical terms actually, like there were a lot of laws and everything that were like created back then that have created our society until then. Now, obviously I'm with Lucas, so I'm very in that and what I'm hearing from him and everything. It's so interesting that this is all unraveling right now and we're creating a whole new reality based on a new system in a way, right? And that's like the whole unraveling of the patriarchal, when we look at structure, patriarchal, control, fear, all of that, which is all mind, yeah, all mind control, doing, workers, doing, essential workers, the whole like structure of the reality of our makeup of what's created life today to this point in time. And then what we're shifting out of the masculine patriarchal into the heart. Now people are like, what do I do to support humanity right now? And it's like, well, you can drop your masculine walls and allow yourself to come into that vulnerability, that openness, that softness, and anchor that as your new being reality. And therefore we create a whole different reality. And a lot of people can't fathom that paradigm because it's a completely different reality out of the norm of whatever we're used to growing up in, right? And when we start to shift our internal reality and dropping these walls in our very intimate, everyday relationships, this is the ripple out effect that changes the world. When we stop pointing the finger and looking at ourselves and breaking down our own walls, that is what ripples out. That's what changes everything. So Leanne says, I was just thinking the vulnerability is creation, womb space. Yes, exactly that. The vulnerability is creation. It's a very powerful space to be, and patriarchal society has kept us cut off from the heart, yeah, through structure, through schooling, through no, you're wrong. If you do this, you have to do it this way, you know, like systematic forms, blah, blah, blah. Totally cut off from the heart, totally cut off from our natural creation. Yeah, it's pretty big, right? Really big. You're so welcome, Kelly. You're so welcome. So I'm just going to share this last bit here. So obviously I've got 3 bits of paper here in this process that I had written down. So 15th of July, 9-month birthing cycle. So interesting. I ended up here. Didn't know I was doing that back then. But anyway, I was just healing the masculine. Look what happens when you do. Look what happens when you, oh my goodness. Look what happens when you start to feel safe with the masculine. Look what happens when you start to work and bring down these walls. And look at where I've ended up. Did not see that coming. Total reality shift. That, a total different reality and energy, right? Just a total different reality and energy. I'm like, look where I am, like physically too. I'm like, wow, okay. Look what happens when you do the work, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Scott says, yes, intimacy into me. I see. Exactly. Yes. Oh, wow. Funny how school is shut down at the moment. Yes. It's an interesting recalibration of energetics going on, right? There's a lot more freedom. Homeschooling at school is not so rigid and structured and right? Yeah. Yes. Yep. I'm staying with Lucas at the moment in Victoria. Yes, Kelly. Yes, this is the conscious man that's been holding. We've been shifting. We've been shifting. So I just want to point out, and when you say that, like, I don't know, are we boyfriend, girlfriend? I don't know. We're just in complete freedom of enjoying each other's company. That's totally shifting realities that I would have walked away from ages ago, like busted through realities that it's been huge, right? Anyway, I could write a book on it. But the point I want to share is that, so on the 15th of July is when I did this. And on the 1st of July, so 2 weeks before, I don't know what meditation I did. I must have done something. But anyway, this was about something to do with my business. And it is safe for me to have a team. It's safe for me to have supportive, dedicated, loyal staff, relationships, and people around me. So whatever I was processing at the time was about me feeling safe in my business and being supported in my business. But get this, right? And I know it's back to front. I haven't turned the camera around. But check this out. Wild and free on property. So amazing. Wild and free on property. A beautiful home, reality awareness, rapidly expanding and in huge rapid development and growth worldwide in all areas. Wild and free on property. And where am I now? I'm in an off-grid property. Wild and free. Not in lockdown, with my power exponentially increasing because I'm so connected to nature out here. Like, oh my God. It's pretty fucking cool, right? I was like reading this the other day and I'm like, wow, I had forgotten about this. And then on the 2nd of July, I'm just going to share this because this is a big process in me sharing my voice and sharing who I really am. And I used to be like that when I first came online 4 years ago, and I used to just, I didn't care, right? And then after all these like hits and knocks and people's comments and relationships shit and like all the stuff that has gone through in this whole journey of being online for the past 4 years, I realized I'd put walls up, right? So it's so interesting. You're so welcome, Scott. Love having you here. Thank you for sharing too. And this whole thing around like, you know, like I've kind of went into a cocoon there for a bit, and I was just like, I didn't want to share what I'd been sharing myself and my voice. And I've gone through this process where I feel like I'm now sharing on a whole different level, on a whole nother internal sense of power and really deeply grounding into who I am, right? And so this one on the 2nd of July, obviously again was from another meditation I didn't write down. It is safe for me to express all of who I am. It is safe for me to speak up. It is safe to be me. What did I keep saying about all this stuff, right? Safety, safety, safety. What did I say in the start? You want to bring down the walls? Create safety. You want to trust intuition more? Create safety. Most of us haven't cleared out the traumas, energetics, and environments in our life that make us feel unsafe. And then everybody wonders what's going on with why aren't things working, right? You don't feel safe. No energy is going to come in. Why? Because you're in fear. Right? Because he's scared. Like nothing happens in that space, right? It is okay for me to say what I really need to say to people to their face. So obviously something's going on for me back then. It is safe for me to be unapologetically me, right? Huge, huge birthing spaces. And then 2 weeks later, I did that and bring down my walls around feeling safe with the masculine. Don't need to protect myself anymore. That's an internal safety. Yeah, there's so much more that I could share about that. But if you want to start working with anything, my Essentials free meditation pack, plus the other one would be the Triple Goddess and the Triune God, which, by the way, it is Beltane, which is when the Triple Goddess and the Triune God come together, right, and create that internal balance. Because when we talk about safety, right, it's an internal safety that we create that then creates an external reality of safety. It's not necessarily the other way around, yeah? Well, of course, if you're in danger, you need to get out of there, but we also need to work on the internal, feelings, because that's what creates the external, yeah? It's not really in an order either. It's really just whatever. So I just put in the divine balance. So the divine balance is a paid meditation, but it's a powerful clearing and balancing meditation, obviously the divine balance, but it's literally the triple goddess and the triune god, which is the maiden, the mother, the crone, and then working through the masculine aspects. Plus I work with the sacred four, because for me it's not about the triple goddess or the triune god, the three, it's really about the four, and it creates that solid foundation. Like if you look at a cube with my amazing cube shaped fingers, like a square, it's a solid foundation, a cube, a square, right? Whereas the triangle, yeah, it's like, but it's got the base on the bottom. There's four, there's the cube, yeah, there's the square, right? So I work with the sacred four. So when you work with, been loving those meditations, yeah, powerful stuff. They are so powerful because they clear the generational line. They are designed to clear generational healing. So if you haven't got them, you can just send me a message. I can send you the direct link, but it is on the comments on this live stream as well. But that is the really powerful, like clearing generational karmic threads, as well as like inner child work in there as well. So there's a lot in those meditations. So if you want to take it up a notch, the divine balance is the best ones. And then yeah, and the life purpose accelerator is open, guys. So this is my inner circle. This is where you work one-on-one with me for 12 months. This is where we're in this container energetically. So if you've got a lot of this, got a lot from just this live stream, where you can feel it, like being in this sacred container of a space shifts you, let alone actually doing the work as well, right? And this is where the inner circle is. You get 24/7 access to me via WhatsApp, plus you get access to all my content that I create over the next 12 months. You also get access to your intuitive healer certification, should you choose to do that. Of course, you don't have to. There's full moon ceremonies every month with that as well, which our full moon ceremony is coming up next week on Thursday too. So please send me a message if you would like me to send you any information about the inner circle, which is the life purpose accelerate, where we accelerate your life purpose to the next level, let alone your life, birthing all these new realities, and being able to shift you from the inside out, because that is how it works. Yeah, please send me a private message, Kelly, and I shall send you the meditations for sure. So yeah, definitely. There's so much awesome information in there. So please dive into that. When you really actually do the work, they really help. So yeah, they shift you, definitely shift you. Love it. Love watching your journey. You're living proof the work works. Yes, it sure does. Thank you very much, Leanne. It sure does. All right. Okay, I'm going to love you and leave you guys. Send me a message if you've got any questions about anything, and I shall be more present now I've really landed and come and arrived where I am. So I shall see you soon. Love you. And if you're watching on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe. And if you think this can help somebody, please share it with them in a private message, or tag them in the comments, or share it on your page. And I shall see you really soon. I love you guys.